Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
And it's, that's the charge, but your options are here on the back.
Okay.
Okay, so these are your options. One is if voluntary payment, the other one is if you're, if you think you're innocent. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
And just so you two know, I just popped in just to let you know, but I'm sure they've been speaking with you, but there will be further action from here to ensure that you do close.
He mentioned Adam Skelly by name. He mentioned that that is the worst case scenario that can happen to us. Yeah. So we've been, to an extent, made aware of all the outcomes or potential outcomes that can happen. But we are only trying to survive, David, and we're trying to, earn a living and just have the right to earn a living.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Newmarket, Ontario. And folks, we have an epilogue to the story we brought you about a week ago regarding the Point of Light. It's a new age shop that has decided to illegally open because York Region is in the gray zone lockdown. And I'm with Barbara and Karthik. They are the operators of this store. And just minutes ago, I just missed them by that much. Bylaw paid a visit. And, well, what happened, guys?
Unfortunately, at least one of our customers decided that we shouldn't be open, that they knew we were open. And so Bylaw was called, and although we've been actually developing a very nice relationship with, actually it's the health branch, it's the public health officer who's been trying to help us, we must admit, because we've tried to pivot with some food items and that kind of thing. But unfortunately, what we've done is still not apparently good enough for to stay open. So they, after long discussion and everything, they've asked us to close. So we have decided that we would like to stay open, and we discussed all the different options. And so they have issued a ticket, I guess at this point. It's $880 for the ticket. We have options on the back, but there are more pending things if we don't. I mean, this we're going to have to fight anyways, but I guess then there's pending things in terms of an order, which they'll be asking us to close. And then that can result in fines up to $5,000. And so we're taking it one day at a time.
Barbara, luckily you had the presence of mind to film the encounter with the bylaw officers. So here they are coming to this shop just minutes ago, and check out the interaction.
So, Barbara, this is the ticket that we were talking about.
Okay.
And it's, that's the charge, but your options are here on the back.
Okay.
Okay, so these are your options. One is if voluntary payment, the other one is if you're, if you think you're innocent. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
And just so you two know, I just popped in just to let you know, but I'm sure they've been speaking with you, but there will be further action from here to ensure that you do close. So we just want you to be prepared.
Yeah.
And then just in terms of the ticket today, this ticket was issued by public health, but I do want to make you aware that you could be facing subsequent charges by the town directly. So I'm not going to issue anything today, but I just want you to be prepared that there might be additional coming in relation to today's inspection.
Can we add some comments on our own from our side?
Absolutely.
So we understand this is your protocol. We understand that this is you've got to follow the protocol, and we apologize for putting you guys in through all this. This is not our intention to create trouble, but we've already been shut down for 4 months prior, and we cannot survive another. So we're trying to do what we best can, and we're trying to survive. And we've tried to improvise. Jim knows about it. We've tried to improvise, try to pivot to see if we can be convenienced. We've tried that, and in all of this, unfortunately, science is not backing this up. You know that our York Region Public Health Officer, Dr. Kurji, has said, and this is as recent as yesterday, he said that retail has less than 1% contribution to this total spread in York Region. And he himself is trying to get the region to open up. We understand that. And unfortunately, his plea has been overridden at a provincial level. We understand. So from a retail perspective, I think we are being unnecessarily being shut down, and it's unfair that a Costco or Walmart is open, and they're allowed to be open under these rules and regulations. And small businesses like us, wherein we are trying to adhere to all our protocols and making sure that the public is shopping safely, we are being prosecuted. So we just wanted you to know that. But we appreciate your job. We get it.
No, I appreciate it, and that these are difficult times to be here. I sympathize with you entirely in what's happening right now. I really do. And unfortunately, like you said, this is provincial direction. This is a medical health emergency that the province is taking direction on, and we do have to be here, right?
Yeah, so as you were saying, maybe further measures. That sounds ominous. Karthik, what did you make of the encounter? I thought you were both very diplomatic with the officers. You're just trying to stay alive in a climate where big box stores are allowed to thrive, but mom and pop operations have to remain shuttered. I don't get it.
We don't get it either, David, and I think the public health officer, Jim, has been very kind, very helpful. We've had a couple of bylaw officers, both very kind, very helpful. They are standing silently in unison, in unity with us. They agree that this is not right. They agree and they understand that our public health officer, Dr. Kurji, has been trying to get retail open, and they understand that we are not the super spreader that people think that is the case, and retailers, and they understand that by letting Costco and Walmart open and shutting down small businesses, it is not right. They agree with all that.
You make a profound point here, Karthik. 2 weeks ago, before York Region was put into the gray zone lockdown, the most severe lockdown, Dr. Karim Kurji said to the province, do not do this. It's not working. It's causing more misery than solving any kind of problems. We know repeatedly, Premier Doug Ford has said, if I put on my entrepreneur hat, I'd have everybody open tomorrow, but I'm beholden to medical advice, I'm beholden to scientific advice. Well, I think the chief medical officer for York Region, more than 1.2 million residents, I think he might know a thing or two. So why is he ignoring the medical advice that he says he's beholden to?
To be honest, I do not know how and why they are doing what they're doing. I mean, Dr. Kurji has been saying that week over week that retail is not responsible, and he agrees to open up York Region. They did a vote on that yesterday, and they lost by a single vote again to reopen.
Well, they had quite a discussion on the statistics in terms of where the spread is coming from. And they know, they even talked about it at the regional council meeting. It's all, you can see it, it's all on video, that it's less than 1% coming from retail. So it doesn't make any sense. Another question I would like to ask is, if big box got to open in the spring, why not let little business open in the fall? Why don't we do the reverse and share the wealth? Why are we, focusing on just the little stores that have so much control over the customers that come in?
Yeah, Barbara, I don't think anything makes sense. And my personal theory in terms of almost shutting down the entire economy, it is our so-called elected leaders that are subscribing to CYA, cover your ass, that if the case counts keep going up, they'll say, hey, what do you want me to do? I tried to shut down almost the entire economy and it still happened. The blame is not on me. But I don't think that's leadership. But more to the point, guys, I'm very disturbed by this mention by the bylaw of further measures to make life miserable for you, presumably in terms of more fines, maybe even changing your locks, maybe even sending in law enforcement. And if you think I'm exaggerating, folks, we just have to go back to late November and what happened to Adam Skelly. Remember when he tried to do the egregious crime of cooking up brisket? Check it out.
What is this? Shame on you! Stop it! Get it off me! Shame on these police!
So there you had in the city of Toronto, guys, literally the mounted unit coming in. Adam Skelly arrested, handcuffed, spending a night in jail. I think that was the city of Toronto using intimidation tactics that if there's any wise guy like Adam Skelly, if there's anybody like you that is daring to open up during this gray zone lockdown, we are going to make an example out of you, and it's to intimidate others, not to open up. What do you think?
I think it's egregious that they're doing it. We also had a long conversation with the public health officer, Jim, about how we're trying to pivot and trying to survive, and we're trying to sell convenience items to make sure that we are open as a convenience store. And there is, at the moment, in the Ontario Reopening Act, there is no definition of what a convenience store is and what they should sell. So we believe that we have the right to stay open because we do sell those items. Unfortunately, I think public health officials, they discussed it and they didn't want to agree with that. We had a chat with I believe the head of public health in York Region, person named Vito. He mentioned Adam Skelly by name. He mentioned that is the worst case scenario that can happen to us. Yeah. So we've been, to an extent, made aware of all the outcomes or potential outcomes that can happen. But we are only trying to survive, David, and we're trying to, earn a living and just have the right to earn a living.
Well, on that note, Karthik, I can tell you this. What we can offer you, we're going to have a top-notch criminal lawyer represent you under our iwillopen.com portal. You won't have to pay a nickel of the legal fees. We are going to crowdfund that. We are going to fight this ticket and any future tickets you get. What do you think about that, Barbara?
That's great, David. We appreciate the support.
Gotcha. Well, you deserve it. You, like you said, you're just trying to make a living. And for some reason, folks, that is an egregious act in the province of Ontario. This is a shameful situation. So please, if you can chip in $1 or $3, go to iwillopen.com. Let's get some justice for this little Newmarket shop that is just trying to make a living. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, do you run a business? Are you sick and tired of being hassled by bureaucrats and politicians forcing you to shut down? Well, if that's the case, please go to iwillopen.com. That's iwillopen.com. Share the details, and I will tell the world your story.